Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. We'll be learning how to make this batwing bubu dress with ruffles. So let's get started. So we'll be needing 4 yards of this fabric, then organza. I think about 4 yards of the organza as well. The first thing I'll do, I'll place my fabric on fold. I folded it in a way where I'll cut the front and back together. So I'm trying to arrange it on the table. So the first thing you do, I'm trying to get my vertical lines, my bust points. I don't really need that. My waistline, what you need for this bubu dress is basically your hip line mainly. So for the neckline, I'm doing 3 inches by 1.5 for the back. That's what I'm marking now. The width is 3 inches, the length is 1.5 for the back. Then for the front, the length is about 3.5 inches. Round neck, both of them will be round neck, so I'm trying to get that. So for the shoulder slant, I'm doing 1.5 inch. Remember, we're using everything, so I'm not cutting out anything. So I'll connect to that slant now. So after doing that, I've marked my hip line as 24. So I'll go down for my hip line with 4 or 5 inches. It depends on your preference. That will be 29, or you can even do 30. From my hip line is 24. I'm going down my hip line with 5 inches. That's 29 inches. Then on my hip line now, I'll divide my hip measurement by 4. Dividing by 4, I got 12. My client's hip is 48, so I'll add 4 inches to that 12, which is 16. Divide your hip measurement by 4 and add 4 inches. Then I subtracted 2 inches from what I have on my hip line now. That's 14 inches. So I'll use 14 inches to mark all the way down to the hem of the dress. You can do with the 16 inches, but why I'm doing 14 inches, I want it a bit tapered, so it would look a bit tapered at the lower parts. But if you want it very free, you can just, after dividing your hip measurement by 4, add 4 inches and rule a straight line down to the hem. For me, I subtracted 2 inches, so I'm doing 14 inches at the hem of the bubu dress. That's what I'm trying to mark now. So I'll mark that 14 inches all the way back to that 29 inches. That's 4 inches away from my hip line, a bit, or 5 inches. The 5 inches I said I marked, which is 29. So that's where I'm going to stop. So I'm trying to do that now. It gives your bubu this tapered look if you don't want it too free at the lower part of the dress. So I'm done doing that. So from that 29 inches, I'll rule, see what I'm doing. I'll connect it back to the other side. See that line now? From that 5 inches away from my hip line. Can you see? I'm connecting it back just like as I did now. So I'm just trying to check if it's actually 14 inches. So from that 29, not the hip line now, I'm connecting it the way I'm doing. See where I'm reeling the line. I'm connecting it to the other side of that will serve as my sleeve. Can you see what I did? So that's the back and that is the front. So I'm just trying to go through all what I did again. The neckline, I did 3 inches by 1.5 for the front. Then for the back, by 3.5 for the front. Then that's my shoulder slant, 1.5. I'm trying to go through it, so in case you don't understand, so I'm using my ruler now. I didn't see it. That was why I was using my hand. So I'm connecting it to the shoulder slant. Then I went down to my hip line, which is 24. That's the waistline. But for this bubu, you just need your hip measurement and your hip line. So that's my hip line 24. Then I went below my hip line with 4 inches. That's where you connect it. Yeah, you can do with 5 inches or even with 6 inches, depending on how low and where you want the batwing sleeve to start from. But starting from your hip is always too high, so you have to go down your hip line. So I divided my hip line by 4, my hip measurement by 4, then I added 4 inches. Can you see? I'm trying to go through it. Then I subtracted 2 inches from what I have on my hip line. That was what I used to rule that straight line all the way down to give it this tapered look. Or you can just use the same measurement down, but it's always too bogus and shapeless kind of. I prefer taking out 2 inches from what I have to give it that tapered look. Then I'll connect it from that from the 29 inches or whatever I used to go down from your hip line. That was where I connected to give me that batwing shape. Can you see how I did it? Yes. At that point is where some people like to do that from their hip line, but it's always too small and high. So I prefer going down my hip line with 5 inches or even 6 inches. It depends on your preference. So I've connected that now. So I'm trying to cut out the neckline for the back. I'm starting with that, cutting out my shoulder slants, trying to cut that out. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Click on the notification bell so you'll be notified when we post new videos. So I'm just trying to cut out all I need to cut out for this dress. It's very simple. I use 4 yards for this. So I'm done cutting. So I'm going to separate I'll take out the back now. So on the back, I want to use buttons at for the back. So I'll just measure 5 or 6 inches. Then that's for the back, so that it will be easy for her to wear the dress. So I'll cut that out. So I'll put buttons at that part. So I'm cutting out. So you see what I did. So I'll keep that aside, then come back to the front and cut out the neckline for the front. We have a Facebook group, So to Fit with AA Clothers, and our Facebook page is AA Clothers. You can follow us as well. So for the organza, I've ironed it and I placed it on fold. So I'm doing 10 inch. At first, I marked 10 inches. When I opened it, I saw it was small if I fold it. So I'll cut another 10 inch and join it together. So basically, I did 20 inches for one of the sleeve. That 20 inches will be placed on fold. So that will give me 10 inches. You can do less or more. Then for the part I want to use for the neckline, I just did the 10 inches. So when I place on fold, it will be 5. So this second part is 20 inches I'm doing. For the other one, I'm going to sew it to get my 20 inches for one of the sleeves. This one is just 20 inches for the other sleeve. I placed on fold. So this for the other sleeve. So see how I'll do it. I'll place it on fold as I'm doing, and I'll sew it. After sewing, I'll iron it. So after ironing, see what I'm trying to do, make gather stitches at the middle of the organza. Just take your needle and thread and start sewing, pulling at the middle. You can use your machine to sew gather stitch and pull it together. I prefer using my needle and thread. So see what I'm doing at the middle. I'm just trying to make gather stitch at the middle of the organza that I've sewn. Don't forget to iron after sewing. So I'm going to do this for all 3 of the organza that I cut out. So see, I'm done with one. See what I have is looking. So I've done everything. Just place gathered stitch at the middle of the organza and pull it together. So I'll start sewing now. The first thing I will do, I will join the shoulder, both shoulders. I'm going to join it. That's the first thing I'll do. Then I'll use my organza to turn the neckline. Then the part that is supposed to be the sleeve, where I'll sew the organza on, I just want to place it on fold to give it that neat look on the inside. Remember, I have not joined the side, I only joined the shoulder. So now that sleeve part, I'm placing on fold. I'm folding it so that it will look neat at that part. So that's what I'm doing now. Remember, I have not covered it though. I only joined the shoulders and turn the neckline, because if you shape it, it will not be easy for you to sew the organza on it. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm just folding the part that is meant to be the sleeves after joining the shoulders. I only joined the shoulders, I didn't sew the sides. I'm just turning this part to give it that neat look. So I'm done doing that now. So I'll take that organza, spread it wide on the table. Sorry, it's not clear as I want it to. So see, it hope it's clearer now. So I'm arranging that organza on that part. Remember, you only join the shoulders. When you are doing it, you will figure it out. It's very easy. So this part is supposed to be the sleeves now. I'm taking out my paints. Then I will arrange the organza on top and start using the pins to hold down. Can you see what I'm doing? You keep pulling it to get your desired result. So just keep arranging it and start pinning at the middle. That place that, yes. So I'll do that. When I'm through, I'll take it to the sewing machine and sew it down. So like I was saying, you can follow us on Instagram and Facebook at AA Clothers. We have a sewing group where we share information. Sew with AA Clothers. So you can just check us out on Facebook and follow us for more. Then we have paid classes if you are interested. We have posture class, corset class, and all that. Just send a DM and we'll put you through on how to go about it as well. So I just kept pinning this down. Then I'll take to the sewing machine. I'll repeat the same process for the other sleeve. This is the part that is meant to be the sleeve. So if you shape it, it will not be easy for you to arrange. That's why I just joined the shoulders, then folded this edge to give it the neat look. So I'll pin it down and take it out now to sew down when we are done. So I'm almost done with this. So I'll repeat the same process for the other side. Take to the sewing machine and sew it, then come back to show you. So see, I've sewn the other parts, and see the way I'm sewing it. I'm sewing at that middle, that center. Can you see? That's how I'm sewing it. Yes, at that center part. That's where you sew down. So I kept sewing till I was done sewing with that part. So you see, it's very easy. So I've done that for both sleeves, and see what we have. Remember, we've not shaped the sides. So see what we have. So back to the neckline part. After using my bias to turn the neck, sew out where I'll put my button. I measure 2.5 inch round the neckline. You can do 3 inches, but mine is 2.5 inches that I measured round. Can you see? So I'll place the organza on top of that line that I marked. I'll start pinning using my paints to hold down. I'll do that round the neckline. Round that chalk. That chalk will be as a guide for me to pin down. So I'm arranging it, and I'll use my paints to hold it down, just as I'm doing now in the video. Just so when I'm done, I'll take to the sewing machine and sew it down. Can you see? So I've sewn it down with the sewing machine. So see what we have. It's so beautiful. See what we have. So I'll flip it now to the wrong side and try. I want to shape it now so that I'll sew the sides. So I'll just shape it, divide my hip measurement by 4, add 2 inches on both sides, shape it. Then the lower part, remember we subtracted 2 inches to make it tapered, so I'll just do that now and shape down. So I'm just trying to shape it on the sides. You see, this bubu is very, very easy. So you start sewing from that place, from where the organza stops, just as you see me doing them. That's where I'm marking now. That's where I'll start sewing from. So I'll just sew like that down to the hem. Then I'll fold the lower part of the dress and we are good to go. So just shape and sew it, then your dress is ready. So you see, I'm done sewing. This is what we have. It's so beautiful. Can you see? So please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Thanks for watching. See you in our next video. Bye.